for trading and partnership, opportunities for investment, opportunities in the area of agriculture, that we will take advantage of these opportunities. We pray that because the earth belongs to you and the fullness thereof, let our earth, we pray, Lord, let our environment in the area of legal issues, in the area of partnership, give off of its best. And we are praying that as leaders who will lead in these opportunities, give us the needed wisdom, give us the needed capacity, the ability to be able to lead, to manage, and bring off the best out of it. We pray that in our gathering, your presence be granted a sake that we will benefit from this. We want to thank you for this opportunity, and we say, take absolute control and have your own way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Solomon Tamako. Please be upstanding. We need to acknowledge the nation Ghana. So it is time for us for the national anthem of the nation. That tells that you are in Accra, Ghana. So we need to recognize the nation and also give respect to the nation. Yenaya Asasini. Thank you very much. May we be seated. It is not easy to ask a chief or a king to stand up. But today you have done that for us, and we thank you very much.
At this stage, I want to welcome some very important personalities, some of who will be the facilitators of this very important program, sponsored by the Vanuatu Trade Commission, the Global Business Fair 2023. I believe that we are here not just to listen. It is an opportunity for us to network. I've put down some key words that should inform how we participate in this special event. Collaboration, sharing of experiences, success stories to be told, strategy, best practices, insights, leadership and leadership trends, professional development, and growth opportunities, as we heard in the prayer by Reverend Tamaklo. Before we tell you the traditional authorities who have joined us because they are custodians of all the lands that we would put our facilities on, I want to acknowledge the presence of some guests who are here with us today. Their presence here is going to enrich our conversation. First is a young lady, Yang, who is a representative of future trends. Yang, if you can rise up so that we can see you. Pretty young lady, very intelligent. Professor Dean Roberts Jr., His Excellency, is the High Commissioner and Continental Vice President, United Nations International Peace and Governance Council. Prof, you are welcome. We also have with us Bushra Hastek from Future Trends. Dr. Fazam Kamalabadi is also with us. I've read through his profile. He'll be speaking to us, and I'll tell you how experienced he is. Doc, you are welcome. And of course, the young man on his labs we are gathered here today is representing the Vanuatu Trade Commission. Is the Trade Commissioner, Professor Hugh Ai, is also with us. Prof, thank you very much for this initiative. Of course, Beatrice is breaking protocol. We have traditional leaders with us. Sometimes when you try to mention their names, you may not represent it as they speak their dialects. And so today we are trying to break protocol, and my colleague will introduce them. But before that, there is another very important personality with us. He is a representative of the Ghana Investment Promotion Council. I nearly skipped him and I would have been punished for it, because whatever we do here, be it business, networking, whatever, he is going to be a great facilitator. He is Dr. George Obodum Kusi Asafo Ejei. Thank you, and we are grateful to have you in our midst. Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Eric. It is now time for us to introduce to you our kings.
Good morning, Nananum Nami Kuru. As our MC equally said, it is not easy to come by the traditional names. So we have to do that. And in our culture, our tradition, the chief don't introduce themselves. It's a linguistic that do so. And we are going to do that on their behalf. We have here the paramount king and the president of the Boa traditional area and the land of the Sasalis from the Upper West region, in the person of Kuru Bariche Nloye Baninye II. He is also the president of the United Traditional Rulers Association and a mediator in the Upper West region. Next to him is one of his divisional chief, who is King Kuru Kwaso Hassana Bagley Mamene III, a divisional chief from the Boa traditional area. His linguistic is in the person of Engineer Prince Noble Charles. Prince Noble, that the linguistic of the king of the traditional area. And myself, the king of the youth chief of the Boa traditional area to the king. God bless you. My colleague will do the rest of the introduction.
Thank you, my sister Laman. You know, when you go to the northern region, you have this kind of inter-tribe jokes. We have it in different diverse means. This is Salaman here. The chief here is our small boy. So therefore, we have to allow him to introduce himself first before the main chief will come. With us here, we have our chief from Wasipe traditional area. That is the boy where you can get this particular best smokes. He is called Bunra. Formerly, he was called Izesura. He's now the Bunra of the traditional area called Wasipe. And he's with us here, Chief Asanakaba. And we have Chief Idrisu, also from Tulue traditional area, from Glumpe traditional area. In fact, the Tulue area, now we have our overlord, the king of the Gonjes, Bikunutu Jousole. That is where he comes from. And this is a sub-chief from his place, Chief Eura Idrisu from Glumpe. Thank you. I think with us, we have our, when you go to the northern region, I think now we have 5 northern regions, 5 regions in the north. So we have Chief Isaka Samsidin, Tamale Mushi Rasanaba, Tamale. Chief, you are welcome. And we also have Chief Malguna Bikpena Palis Tamale. He's also with us here. I think with this, we have all the chiefs represented, and we want to thank. And the rest behind them are the elders following them. So I think we have to hand over the mic to the MC. Thank you very much.
A round of applause. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. I have to move fast to the other side so that they can also introduce themselves to us.
Hello. On our side, we have Togbe Hachu, the third, Anglo Jita. We have Togbe Tamaklo, the 11th of AfCFTA. We have Togbe Tete Agbi, the third, Dufia of Tete Kope, Tete Vikope, Nukpese Kope, and Fia of Anglogan Lashibi. We have Mama Adoshi, the third, Ayele of Aneho Gliji in our midst. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We welcome all of you. Eric, over to you.
Thank you very much. And today, I believe that those of you gathered here are representing various sectors of any country's economy. I'm looking at energy, power, mining, oil and gas, agri-business, manufacturing, general trade, tourism, creative arts, and hospitality. I was watching some videos representing Vanuatu and what they stand for. And I was just imagining how we can transform our economies if many of us representing various countries here in West Africa, Africa at large, and our partners to see how best we can advance on what we have. Finance, banking, insurance, digital economy, fintech, health and medical infrastructure, real estate, general construction, automobile, transport, shipping, logistics, science, environment, and technology, among others. As we proceed, you would notice from those who will be sharing their experiences that it is an opportune time for you to critically look at how best you can network. I'll stop here. Beatrice will carry us through the first part of this program. And as we wrap up, I believe that you walk home and be proud of this wonderful event put together by the Vanuatu Trade Commission, the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Association of Ghana Industries, and all the partners who have made this possible.
Thank you, Eric. At this time, we would like to take the Vanuatu National Anthem. Vanuatu National Anthem. That will be followed by introduction of our, the one who invited us here today. I won't talk much. So if we are ready, Vanuatu Anthem, please.
You
To give the opening remark, I would like to say a few words before we receive him on the podium. This man is an industrious business icon of our land who has demonstrated nation in performing multitasking and assignments over the past 27 years as a teacher and now a business global icon. He is a business-minded individual, a strategist, an innovator with several awards to his credit from the world-recognized organizations and universities across the world. In fact, I cannot mention the hidden treasures he has under his closet. This gentleman has traveled the length and breadth of this globe and has visited over 105 countries on tourism and business adventures. 19 years ago, this man had a vision about Ghana's 50th independence anniversary and therefore began the planning and promotion of Ghana's golden homecoming anniversary. This program saw the arrival of thousands from the diaspora who converge in Accra, Ghana, for the 50th independence anniversary celebration. Through the vision and novelty of ideas by this man, he was instrumental in bringing Reverend Jesse Jackson, former US presidential candidate, His Excellency John Prescott, former Deputy Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, under His Excellency Prime Minister Tony Blair, and several others who traveled to Ghana at his invitation to grace Ghana's 50th anniversary celebration. One of those adventures took him all over, way to the South Pacific Australia, New Caledonia, Tonga, Fiji, and Vanuatu, just to mention a few. This man discovered Vanuatu to Ghana. He is an epitome of wisdom to some of us and strategic formulator. Without him, we would all not have been seated here today because some of us didn't even know about Vanuatu. And I believe you do same. But today, through him, we have heard about Vanuatu. We'll be watching some videos. He is the first Ghanaian diplomat to be appointed as a Vanuatu Trade Commissioner to Ghana under the Foreign Services Act of the Republic of Vanuatu. He is also the brain behind energy brands, products currently serving Ghana, Australia, South Africa, USA, and the European markets. He is a renowned expert in many fields, that is information communication technology, oil and gas, events planning, strategic and project management, renewable energy expert, technical education, and many more, just to mention a few. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the moment is finally here. With a standing ovation, permit me to introduce to you and welcome the Vanuatu Trade Commissioner to the Republic of Ghana, with additional responsibility to West Africa. Shall we welcome His Excellency, Ambassador Professor Dr. Hugh Ayer, for his opening remarks. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Good morning. I'd like you to do something for me. When I say VACONGHA, your response, Vanuatu, here we come. Are you ready to do that for me? When I say VACONGHA, you respond, Vanuatu, here we come. VACONGHA. 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 Thank you. A round of applause for yourself and for me. Thank you, MC, for that generous introduction. Invited distinguished guests, and with all protocols observed, I must acknowledge that this is a special moment for me to give my opening remarks. As the Vanuatu Trade Commissioner of the Republic of Vanuatu to Ghana, under whose authority and supervision this event is being organized. I'd like to appreciate the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and External Trade of Vanuatu, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Ghana, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament and the Republic of Ghana, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority, and all enabling institutions in ensuring this event becomes a success. One may ask, what or which country is Vanuatu? The mission and vision of Vanuatu Trade Commission Ghana, with our blueprint, are to ensure the delivery of Vanuatu's business programs between the people of Vanuatu and Ghana, while getting responsibility to other Francophone West African countries. A journey that has already started with a heavy representation of our Francophone West African representatives seated here today. Vanuatu, since independence 42 years ago, been moving towards becoming a modern country, immersed in the global economy. The first European to arrive in Vanuatu was Pedro Fernandez de Quero in 1606. He arrived at the largest island and believing it was Australia, named it La Australia de Espiritu Santo, meaning the southern land of the Holy Spirit. The Spanish established a settlement which only lasted for 1 month due to hostilities with the native inhabitants and ill health of the crew. Europeans returned in 1768 in the form of Louis Antoine Bougainville. He landed at Ambai and began trading with the native people. The French experienced hostilities with the Vanuatu natives as well. So the next European visitor was Sir Captain James Cook, who explored the island quite extensively and renamed them the New Hebrides. The name New Hebride lasted 174 years until 1980, when it was changed to the Republic of Vanuatu in accordance with the country's now globally recognized independence. During the first quarter of the 19th century, the European visitors were mainly whalers. Then in 1825, one European trader discovered sandalwood, which was great demand for in the Chinese market and could be traded for tea. The discovery of sandalwood caused a rush of trade on the islands, which lasted approximately 5 years, until hostilities erupted between the imported Polynesian workers and Vanuatu natives. From the mid-1800s, Roman Catholic and Protestant missionaries commonly visited the island and established small settlements. The missionaries were followed by European settlers who unsuccessfully tried to establish cotton farms. And when the cotton market collapsed, they started growing a range of crops, including coffee, banana, cocoa, and coconut. Now that was a brief of the beautiful island of Vanuatu. I have the utmost faith and belief that before we all depart from here to our various destinations, the theme of this event, the emergence of the next generation of African entrepreneurs through strategic collaborations, will have impacted everyone with some historical and important understanding of leadership and collaboration. There are some things that don't change, and that is what literature is all about. Whether it's about the leadership of a company, the leadership of an organization, or indeed, even the leadership that organization represents. I think that leadership is defined not only by capability, but also by character and increasingly by collaboration. Capability is all about what we can do, and of course, much of the transformation that the Vanuatu Trade Commission has been going through over the last months began with this. It has been about building our capability so that we can do more for Ghana, Vanuatu, and the global world. We talk about collaboration with everyone that is seated here and those listening to us on social media. So the question is collaboration today more important than ever? And increasingly, we are not talking about only collaboration between businesses, but about the world, between government, academia, and industry. It is really important for business executives to collaborate now than at any time in our history, because I do believe that global companies are today able to bridge between cultures and competing interests. I look around this room and I see businesses who are actually engaged every day in every market, in every corner of the world. And it makes me think that in some ways, we are a unique one in our human history. It is unique in many ways because business leaders today have as much first-hand experience in international affairs as our political leaders. Global companies today, including those represented here from Ghana, Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, Mali, DRC, United Arab Emirates, and many more, can attest to this fact. Collaboration, again, is more important than ever because of the changes that we are facing. In the millennia of human experience, we have companies of many years of experience with a truly global, unique outlook, prospecting for ventures and acquisitions, partnerships, and global alliances. Today's global economy is in a different era because we have entered into a time where all analog content and every physical processes will become digital, mobile, virtual, and personal. Digital is a word we all understand. Mobile, you can do anything, anywhere. Virtual in the sense that people can have the same experience apart from what they can have together. And personal in the sense that the individual, whether they are acting as a consumer, a citizen, a businessman, that individual is increasingly in charge. To buttress the above statement is the fact that businesses in Vanuatu, which is 18,457 kilometers away, could be watching us live from the Pacific. In every industry, whether military, healthcare, education, entertainment, This transformation is now beginning through various models of business collaborations. As mentioned in the MC's extremely generous introduction, my background in history and as a student of history has given me an insight into a couple of things that history teaches us. And it is a fact that for every generation from ancient times until today, progress and destruction have traveled down the same road. In the Mediterranean world in the 12th century BC, the same shipping lines that brought prosperity also brought violence from raiders. During the Middle Ages, the same road that saw record commercial training from town to town also carried the bubonic plague. This morning, we celebrate, I believe, a great organization that has focused always on leadership through collaboration and on remembering that leadership is about character, as surely it is about capability. We must be realistic that we face unprecedented challenges. First, to our leadership, then to our way of life, and therefore, the word collaborations remain one of the key elements to becoming a successful entrepreneur. There are so many reasons to be optimistic and to remind us over and over that people have demonstrated how much more can be done that was thought possible with less than what was thought to be necessary. It is not about academic, chieftaincy, or political titles, but about what those titles will inure to the benefit of those around us and the impact it makes on those beyond the borders of this globe. Any partnership, big or small, will work best when there is a shared goal. Developing value-aligned partnerships that focus on common goals and complementary strength is key to ensuring successful outcomes for all of us. Working collaboratively with partners generates the kind of energy that fuels growth, innovation, and creativity. Everything is possible. I believe that. And not everything is easy or happens right away. Nothing good happens without teamwork and collaboration, guided by both capability and character. But when people collaborate well, guided by a worthy purpose, everything is possible. It took a sacrifice and commitment, day and night without sleep, to pull this together, and all through strategic collaborations. Let's harness the strength and abilities of others from different corners of the ecosystem and find strategic ways for businesses to scale their innovations and solve complex challenges. In today's fast-paced environment, a do-it-alone approach is not the best. Companies need to look for new ways to drive innovation that deliver what their customers need today and in the future. The reality of today's business landscape is that partnerships are key to better serving customers by merging talent, expertise, technology, and purpose. Collaboration and strategic partnership are fundamental to improving business outcomes. Now is the time to chart a good course, echo the vision, and action it to the realization of the team chosen for the event. The emergence of the next generation of African entrepreneurs through strategic collaborations. Invited ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, are you one of them? Will you be one of them? I throw this challenge to everyone seated here. Once again, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols observed, I wish you all the best of the day. And then to say, enjoy an amazing VACONGHA 2023. Thank you. Thank you.
Another round of applause for His Excellency Professor Hugh Ayi. The first day I met this man, I thought he's a foreigner because I'm speaking as a Ghanaian. And later he said, look, I speak your language. Bagba. Afu Akbar. Thank you very much. Now, he is representing a country which is very young. If you were born before 1981, then you are older than Vanuatu. When I watched the videos, I asked myself, how many opportunities we may have missed as a people of a country called Ghana, which is over 60 years old. But I saw in those videos 3 key potentials that they can boast about as their trademark: agriculture, tourism, and trade. But beyond this, and as we continue this conversation, you get to realize that there are many more that they can talk about that you can exploit. Because I have, in the work I do as a media practitioner, had interviews with many successful Ghanaians who said their story began from an event like this. One young man said, just about 20, 30 years ago, he just visited the trade fair site when there were one of those events, and he took a complimentary card of a Chinese national. He was here in Ghana looking for somebody to do business with. And that was the start point, because the man left, he forgot, he had a conversation with the man, and he became the subject of the man's interest as a business development entity here in Ghana. Today, he's very rich. I am older than him. I may have attended some of such events, but maybe I didn't see the light that we are going to talk about today. So I can challenge you, if you are here, even if you came here without any plan, listen carefully to the facilitators. Network. Trust yourself, and I believe you can take it forward. Beatrice will introduce another segment before we move on to part 2 of today's event. Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Eric. We would like to acknowledge the presence of our friends and our business partners from Togo, Benin, and Congo. Please give us a wave. You're welcome. A round of applause for them. Thank you very much for coming. There's this young musician. Let's say when I also started my career about 20 years ago, through his music, my program became very popular on radio. Those days, music was being recorded on cassettes. So I attended a program and he performed, very young, and he shook the grounds. I came back to Accra, went to Kantamatu. That is where we sell cassettes, CDs, darts, and what have you. Today we have pen drive. I went to Kantamatu. I bought one of his cassettes. And I remember the day I played his music on air, after the program, a lot of people called. Who is that young man? And I said, he's from the Volta region. I wouldn't talk much. His Excellency told me that he just placed a call to him and said, Israel, compose a song for Vanuatu. And he did just that. Without anybody's support. He's a songwriter. He's a producer. He's one in all. He does everything. Without much ado, let me invite evangelist Israel Maweta. With a round of applause, let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, distinguished guests. I want to use this platform to thank Prof, for being a pillar behind me, supporting me, and adding up to my success story. Prof, God bless you so much for all you have been doing for me. Yes, so when I received a call from Prof to compose a song for Vanuatu, I told him it is a cool deal because I know who he is to me. Prof, once again, thank you very much. Yo, Majiwa Machoshin Pokwaya, Ado is on a Tobio Mama Yawezo. Our chiefs from the north, you are most welcome. Thank you so much. Vanuatu.
I want to pay a visit to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The beautiful land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. I want to escape to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The amazing land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Vanuatu. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. I want to pay a visit to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The beautiful land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. I want to escape to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The amazing land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Come on. The beautiful land of Vanuatu. I wish to be there. I love the people of Vanuatu. They are very interesting. My hospitality is wonderful. They are very interesting. We are cherish the nature of Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Very awesome and serene is Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. I love the people of Vanuatu. They are very interesting. My hospitality is wonderful. They are very interesting. We are cherish the nature of Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Very awesome and serene is Vanuatu. interesting. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. Here we come. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. Vanuatu, here we come. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I told you about this young man, and you have seen it for yourselves. A round of applause for him. Israel, special request from someone. You'll be back on stage with the same song, and I believe all of us will be upstanding and dance to the song. A round of applause, please. A Chinese friend once told me that clapping is an exercise, and I didn't believe him. But thank you very much, ladies. So I am not exaggerating. Clapping is an exercise. It helps the fingers. It also helps the veins in our arms, and it leads to the heart. So clapping is allowed. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. So, for yourselves. Thank you so much. I wouldn't waste much of your time because we'll be having the second segment whereby our special guest will be speaking, and that will be a time for you and I to interact with them by way of questions and answers. That is why we are here. I called him the whistleblower, His Excellency, Professor Hugh I. Why is he the whistleblower? I didn't know about Vanuatu. How did he discover Vanuatu? How come he went all the way there to open us up to that beautiful and small island called Vanuatu? I remember about 20 years ago, His Excellency told me, my sister, I want us to organize a program at the beach. And I asked him, which of the beaches? He said, Sakumono Beach. I said, but Sakumono Beach, we don't organize events at Sakumono Beach. We normally organize events at Labadi Beach, which is very popular. And then later, some of them moved to Botsiano and, those areas. He said, no, we can do it and we can make it happen. I was doubting. So mine was to blow whatever I wanted to do on air. And I tell you, that day, we could not control the crowd. And since then, no company, nobody has been able to organize any event at the Sakumono Beach. I will attest to that. He's the whistleblower, a visionaire. And if he says he wants to do something, he does it with all his heart and with all his mind. A round of applause for the whistleblower, Okofabae. Thank you very much. Thank you for opening our eyes. At this time, Eric will come back, and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are taking solidarity messages. I understand there are representatives from the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. And I believe that our chiefs can also share with us their thoughts, even before we go into the second part of this program. Anytime I travel to Adan, I ask myself, what happened to agriculture along that stretch from Tema Runabout as you approach Pram Pram Junction, and then you move close to the Central University, and then you go to where the affordable housing project is. That enclave used to be a habitat for local farmers. And as I watched the videos, I asked myself, so the chiefs who gave out the lands to real estate developers, and those lands have been fenced, and we don't see the housing project springing up. What have they done to our food security? When I travel along the beaches, I grew up in Takrady and Cape Coast. So I know the beachfront from Accra to Axim. I know the areas very well. Over the years, you continue to ask, why can't we as individuals, rather than thinking about governments after governments, to see how we can plow investments in those areas to make those opportunities attractive enough to create jobs for our people and wealth for the indigents? I believe that this event will give us an insight into what a small country, which is less than 40 years, is doing or has done, and what we can do if we want to share those experiences. And so if there are representatives from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Trade, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Doc, you will come and speak later. So at this stage, we want to open the floor for solidarity messages. I'll spend a few minutes, Beatrice is down there, and I want to hear from our chiefs. I want our chiefs to tell us what they want to take away from this event, so that when our resource persons speak, our resource persons will begin to address their expectations. So Beatrice, you can walk to our chiefs. I believe that those from the northern Upper West region, they have one person who will speak. Thank you, Beatrice. Take it over.
Thank you very much, Eric. Who is ready for us, please? Thank you very much, my brother. A round of applause for him. Thank you very much. Thank you. As I said, clapping is an exercise. Those of us who don't go to the gym, it is a way of exercising our arms, our fingers, and of course, to make sure that our hearts beat properly. Are we ready, my brother? Thank you.
I think the Gwenja chief has asked his small boy to go and do the presentation. He's a chief, but he's a small boy to him. So, chief, we are moving with you. Thank you.
Yes, he can come up stage if he wants to say.
Thank you.
A round of applause for him while we wait.
You don't move chiefs around like that. So sometimes, you need to observe protocol. Wherever they are, you walk to them. They don't walk to you.
And
you come to us? You don't come to us. We always come to you, isn't it? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning. I wish our policymakers are here with us. What I'm going to say, they should have hear what I'm going to say. But it's rather unfortunate they are not here. I saw their names, but they are not yet in. I don't know whether
let me interject. They are here. Their representatives are here.
Okay.
They will eventually be invited upstage.
Okay.
So they are represented.
Okay. That's all right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My colleagues, traditional rulers, respectfully, all protocol deal acknowledged. I am Koro Berche Luvier Vaninya II from Buwazi traditional area in the Sisala West district of the Upper West region. I'm just to share some few words with you because we are just to make comments, not make speeches. So I will just make a brief comment as we are making. I wish to share a few words with you. It is the need to involve traditional rulers in all aspects of planning, designing, implementation of policies, and development programs for our various communities. We as chiefs, we are the custodians of the land, and I'm going to speak with experience, 25 years as a traditional ruler. I've lived with my people, I've stayed with them, and know what they need. So if you are trying to make policies, it's good you involve traditional authorities, because we always say what we see and not what we hear only. We always say what we see because we are always with our people and know what they go through. There's no against saying that as traditional authorities, we live with our people, the people whom and on behalf of whom policies are made, and the people who interest our government and policymakers claim to be representing, and so it is important that we are involved in the critical stages of policy development. Because when you go to my area, for example, we are rural farmers. And when you want to develop anything that concerns agri, it's very important to involve the people who know the practical aspect of it. But most often, our policymakers always make policies that are only theoretical. They are not practical policies. And that one doesn't serve the purpose the people you are serving. Your policy must be practical and not only theoretical. When you go to agri can make the whole country very rich. Very, very rich. I always say, the budgets they always made for the country, if just 0.00% is given to my people, they will never be poor again. But these monies are always invested in different areas who are not practical experts, just theoretical experts. They are just only for documents and nothing else. So policymakers do policies that will benefit our people. Our people are living in strange poverty. Not that they are lazy, not that they don't want to work, but because the policies are not helping them. For instance, in my jurisdiction, we have fertile land suitable for crops such as maize, cassava, rice, and extra. It is imperative that any program designed for a community like mine and all other sister communities should have added value to the program that will help the people to get more and export. That will help them to be well-to-do. With this, I will only just tell you, everybody here, try to pay a visit to my traditional area. My district, South West District, Upper West Region, and Northern Sector. And you get to know a lot of things there. There's a lot of potential concerning agri, tourism, and also. Finally, let me invite a doctor who is organizing the program, try to come to our area, come to the Northern Sector, and Dr. Fazar, if the name is correct, you and your team, Fisher Trent, try to come to our area and see what we can do. Traditional rulers, I think, I speak your mind. Let them involve us in policy making. Let them not marginalize us. We are the custodians. Don't marginalize us. Try to help and bring us on board. Whatever you want to say, you say, don't talk. You are a traditional ruler. When you talk something positive about the government, they paint you, the other side. When you talk negative, the other side, they paint you. So we are in a fixed corner. give us a chance to talk because we know our people better. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. And I'm very grateful that you are inviting the team here to come to your area. I am praying as we move along as a people, our traditional authorities will incorporate how they can engage people with expertise to sell what can improve the lives of their people. We have another group representing the Volta region here. If you can make it brief, Toby, I want to invite you here. And if you can make it brief, we will cross this session and then move on to our second part of the program, where Dr. Fazam Kamalabadi will be introduced to deliver his address.
A round of applause, please. Togbio miawezo, miaweva doge, akpenemi, akpe. Ale oleko miagbulenenema, miagboha elabamo nova onade la fuma, but miagboha na anyakpo.
Can we keep clapping as we welcome Toby here? We are taking them by surprise by inviting them to share with us what we expect so that our panelists will incorporate this into their conversation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Togbi Tetagbi, the third. Du fiao fanglo tetakofa, tetevikofa, nukbesakofa, and fear of Anglo Galashibe. And bear in mind, my fellow airways, Kopa means village, but it doesn't mean my places are villages. Thank you. I'm particularly honored that this seminar is not a wholly politically influenced seminar where the chiefs or legislators are left out, to which effect we are here today. Thank you, Doug, and the investors. Thank you very much. Like my brother from the north said, we traditional leaders are like teachers in the classroom. Government is the headmaster in the office. We are more connected to the students than you, the government, or the headmaster. The teachers in the classroom are more connected to the students than the headmaster is connected to them, because I'm right in the classroom with them. And you know, sometimes when you talk, it's like you're against the government or something, that's not the best. It's not true. I call Volta region, especially the Anglo section, the Anglo Kingdom, an island, because we are situated between two water bodies, the sea and the lagoon. So that tells you we have our people are fisher folks, and we mine salt as well. Volta region, as I call it, is a gateway to Africa. Bearing in mind the fact that the underground minerals are not yet exploited, like other regions. This, how can I call it, a gateway to Africa. But when it comes to occasions such as this, it's like politicians take it over. They don't inform us. And if they should inform us at all, then it means that, it's going to be a selective something. And those of us who matter, they don't get to us. So I'm particularly happy that today I'm here. I expected a day like this in Saskam. We have a lot in Volta region: fish farming, salt mining, tourism, farming, agriculture. The lands are fertile and vast. You can see the end of it when you stand here. This is the reason we are happy to be among you. To take you there see it for yourselves, and let's see what we can give and take from each other. It's going to be beneficial to ourselves as regional leaders and you, the investors. We have a lot in Volta region, a lot. I can name them. But what I can say on behalf of our people is we have a lot in Volta region that we can give and take from one another. Thank you very much. We expect more of this. We hope today's seminar has cemented our relationship for future, interactions. We interact after this, and we plan as regards how you get there to see things for yourself, what you can do for us and what we can do for you. Thank you very much.
Let's continue to do it for him as he takes his seat. Chiefs, we are very grateful for sharing some words of wisdom with us. We are proud and we are happy you did not hesitate, because we did not include this as part of our programming, but we felt it would be appropriate to hear from you. At this stage, I want to welcome our special guest of honor. He's a Persian American. He is a world-renowned, influential personality with rich knowledge of the business environment in China, Middle East, Africa, and the West. On strategy level, globally, he is somebody society has learned to appreciate. He has very strong relations with national leaders all over the world, about 100 countries, at the level of presidents and prime ministers, sultans and kings, as well as royal families, including the USA and Europe. In fact, he's identified as the most influential foreign figure in modern China history by Chinese state media and the United Nations pictorial magazine, Arabian Business, Arabic Weekly, and other media in the United States and Europe. He reads and writes Chinese, speaks several dialects of the language, and is a master calligrapher of Chinese, including ancient hieroglyphic script. He's also a senior economic advisor to over 20 municipal and regional governments in China. He guided and directed Africa's first ever bloodless and zero bullet power transition in Zimbabwe in November 2017. A well-known figure in the oil and gas and energy sector on the global stage. He has served as senior advisor to a number of countries, national oil systems, including Oman, Kuwait, and China. Our guest is a businessman. In the blockchain sector, he is indispensable senior partner of a series of branded blockchain companies. These include executive chairman of Hyper Optimum Organization, HOO Exchange, president of Messenger Bank and Metal Bagged Money, MBMX, chairman of Fight to Fame, and his personal philosophy is to establish a sustainable global system and mature enterprise which will contribute towards the building of a new and equitable world. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest is Dr. Fazam Kama Labadi. Let's welcome him, Doc.
Honorable ladies, gentlemen, distinguished members of the Ghana Society, members of the continent of Africa, the mother continent on planet Earth. I am the one to bow down before you and not for you to stand up. This is the tradition of a conference, but in reality, I am bowing down before you. Africa, Africa. Ghana, Ghana. It is the era that God himself has decided for what I call the surprise rise of Africa. Surprise. Why? Because the world is not expecting. Rise. Because everything that good that was in Africa, has been in Africa, is in Africa, and will remain in Africa, but is not known by the world, nor by most of the Africans. So it must rise. Rise, not that it was fallen, but it was perceived as fallen. Rise in our subconscious, subliminal mind. Rise in the image of the world, of Africa and Africa of itself. I call it the wow, cleaning the precious jewels of the human souls. Not the diamonds and the gold that you have plenty of, but the human souls. And once they discover themselves and look back, they'll make a second wow, and then the whole world will look at you, chiefs, kings, majesties, highnesses, and the masses. The noble masses of Africa will rise peacefully, collectively, for the sake of unity of the world of humanity. Remember, Africa is not receiver. Africa is the giver. I have a personal philosophy in life. I say, since the day I was born onward, after I was born, I need nothing. I need nothing. Africa is that. You need nothing. The world needs you. I have created a movement. Not me. I don't matter. It is Africa's calling that God wanted. When I wrote the Future Trends Africa Manifesto, the movement of the collective peaceful rise of Africa only 1.5 years ago, actually it was determined 42 years ago. In my diary, I have a line about China in Persian. Chine bidin taskhir shod. And the second line, va Afriqay porgogani hamchenin. 42 years ago, I had written that China will rise, Africa will rise. And I said that the tumultuous Africa will be peaceful and the cause of peace to the whole world. My fellow Africans and Africanas, you have a higher noble destiny, unknown by me, unknown by anyone but God I know, unknown by the world, and sometimes unknown by yourselves. But it is coming. You have to take it to the masses, to the public, all layers of society. Not only top government, but grassroots. Not only the media, the youth, not only the government, not only the rural, not only the tribal, the village areas. 88%, 90% of Africa still is in the rural area. They will move fast upward, as China did. I was the cause of the surprise rise of China, and I am in front of you. I am giving a promise given by God to me that within a decade, Africa will be unknown to the world. Africa will be first world-class citizen nation. Not third world, not second world, but first world. Africa will move to become what it was. You have been given, you have been giving, okay? Let me back. Always you have to back a little bit and then move. Africa needs zero foreign aid. You don't need any foreign aid. Africa does not need foreign direct investment. The art and the power is to create and generate wealth from amongst yourselves. From Africa, in Africa, by Africa, and for export to the world. You are the ones who will contribute to the world, have been contributing to the world, but was taken from you. Now you will give it willingly after you raise your own wealth. The day will come within less than a few years that Africa will give foreign direct aid, will give sovereign debt to Europe. Game over. I am promoting it for Nigeria, for Congo, for Ghana, for many African nations. At least 30 African nations within 1 decade must have a $1 trillion economy by the will of God and the grace of God. The entire Africa has $3.5 trillion economy. Within a decade, it must become $60 trillion economy, and it is doable. That is, Ghana will have $1 trillion economy and $1 trillion in sovereign wealth fund, future generation funds, and God willing, within 1 decade. 7 to 8 years, actually. What are the benchmarks of being the new Africa? The first benchmark is that you are no longer receivers, you are the givers. You will be giving sovereign debt to Europe and to Asia. And many nations, including Latin America and other nations, will rise because they saw Africa rose. The US and Europe, all the masses of humanity and the white race will humbly recognize the greatness of Africa. In unity, we don't work against anyone. We are in favor of all of humanity. All of humanity. But the rise of Africa is the equalizer effect. In the US, 30% of the black population will rise in their dignity. For the first time, the conflict of the black and white in America will be solved because of you. You will be helping with that. Don't need foreigners, don't need me to come bring investments and investors. We will bring plenty of that. But that will be after you yourself have risen. To an equation and a situation that you don't need to beg, we don't need to beg, we don't need to even invite. They will compete to come in. It is a vortex creation. Right now, I created that effect. The US come in bigger time, China bigger time, Russia bigger time, India bigger time, and all others. I created a vortex that they are now competing to come to Africa. Now you have to help. We create a situation that all African nations will compete to be the better recipient of international technology management and as well as capital, and they themselves do their homework better. They themselves clean the order, the right policies and the right system and the right security that will be here. A new era is dawning upon Africa, being surprised and going to surprise the nations. So we will have an Africa that itself will be looking at itself and will be a wow. Whenever I met several of the leaders of the African nations, they said, "Sir, this is the Bible, Future Trans-Africa Manifesto. You are the Messiah." I said, "No, I am the humble servant of the world of humanity and of Africa. And this document, yes, is changing the destiny of Africa, but it is you. You are the players. You are the, not recipients, the givers of the world." I have written a few benchmark situations. Okay? First is the realization of a different realm of possibilities. When I went and I woke up China, at that time they were writing the book, The Ugly Chinese. Themselves were saying they're ugly. They wrote the book and the television series of Yellow River being dead, the mother of China's civilization being dead. Nothing positive comes from there. At that time, their salary was $30, $35. Highest level was $45 per person, the whole of China. Then we have 800 billionaires of China. Then we will have several trillionaires of Africa, but not enough. It has to trickle down to the masses, the great masses. The masses will have wealth. So create wealth and distribute wealth at the same time. One hand creates wealth and one hand distributes it. We never accumulate, never keep. That has been the action in my own life. What are the other benchmarkers? With your permission, I would indulge. Africa as the source, Africa as the giver, Africa with zero needs, with 100% solutions. African nations as the first world citizens, not even second world, and Africa that each of the nations, Ghana, you know what the word Ghana in Arabic means? No, Ghana in Arabic is a different word. Anyone knows? It means the wealth. You are the wealthiest nation. You are Ghana. And the wealth, it doesn't mean monetary wealth. It means wealth to the point of independence. Because the word istiqna means I am so wealthy, I need nothing. So I got this word from your name, Ghana. You are full of wealth and we don't know it. The world doesn't know it. Each African nation, at least 20 African nations, each is more wealthy than Saudi, than Qatar, than Kuwait, than Dubai, than any other. Africa, I see the Africa that will be wealthier than China. China, its GDP when I went there was $300 billion, not $1 trillion. Within 2 decades, it became $18 trillion. Today, $19.8 trillion. Without the changes in Africa that I created, Africa would have risen, but would have been lower than India of today. Neither had the language or the mindset or the system. However, China rose, and now it is time for Africa's rise. And beyond that will be India's rise and Latin America's rise, the whole of humanity. We call it the Renaissance of humanity. The time will come, is coming, is at hand. What else? Why? When I talked to President Mnangagwa in one-on-one in 1 hour, and only one-on-one, turned the television volume up and we talked. When I said that your nation is richer than Saudi, I had to prove it. I said, Saudi has only oil, no gas. Qatar has only gas, no oil. Nothing else. You have oil, gas, gold, diamond, lithium, cobalt, uranium. You have every other thing, forests, Congo. You have the biggest forest, waters, everything. Your wealth is 50 times more than that of Saudi. Already not actualized. We will wake it up. There are many methodologies that I have in that Future Trends Africa manifesto. And we have given to certain countries. Just Yang was sitting with Vice President Shatima for about nearly 1 hour, met him 3 times. So many countries of Africa are now have taken the mandate of the Future Trends Africa manifesto. They are implementing it. Even the White House adopted it less than a year ago. Therefore, before it was America first, then was China first. All of a sudden, Janet Yellen, my friend of 25 years ago, comes and in Senegal, she says, the trajectory of the economy and the finance of Africa will set the trajectory of the finance and economy of the world, which means not us Americans, we determine the future of the world, not China, not India, not other places, not US, not Europe. Africa's economy sets the trajectory of the world's economy. That means Africa first. With that vote of confidence, with the US-Africa Leaders Summit in December, and I was attended with Ambassador Linda and many others. So that conference within a short time became the leading conference in the history of US-China-Africa relations. So then China president sent teams to us and said, Farzam, we see movement of more America is moving towards Africa. You must have done something. And they said, we want to now multiply our presence. But I said the right way. Don't go and beat the workers in the mine. Don't go and exploit and become another generation of exploiters. Win, 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 win. Everybody must win. In our model of humanity, nobody ends up with the short end of the stick. African populations first. African enterprises second, African governments third, African government leaders also become more wealthy. No, what's wrong? No, nothing wrong. It's good. Everybody should become wealthy. Same will be foreign investors and foreign governments. We have plans to talk to Europe, and there are appointments coming for me to talk to the presidents in Europe to saying, wash again, clean your karma. Come back to Africa with a different attitude. I believe you, sir, and your subjects will never hate any of the oppressors. Forgive, forget, move forward, and yet understand the history. When you become rich, and you will become, because I told the Chinese and they forgot, when you become wealthy, don't be selfish. You were never selfish. I don't worry about you becoming rich. I worry after you become rich, do you have the capacity to distribute it among the masses? The noble citizens of Ghana and of Africa, I am talking to you. I don't know who is hearing me. Even if two people are in the room, I will talk with the same passion, because I believe in the power of God, the power of a little bit of grain of pure motive. We'll go far, we'll go for so many generations, and you will take it all over. Thank you, Ambassador Sir Hugh Ire. Yes, you are global. You brought an island nation here. When we met with the president of Palau and quite a few other islands, I said the island nation's #1 partner should be Africa. You did it. Very good. The two ends, the land, the sea. The land, the island, the big, the small, they must join hands so that humanity sees the collective rise. Dear distinguished friends, thank you for your time, but I will read faster now that I have proven to several African presidents and nations that they are already wealthier than the Gulf Cooperation Council, Arab nations, they are wealthier than China, they are wealthier than US itself. And that there is nothing against the interests of any other nation. We include everybody, but we realize that you are the owners of the kingdom. You call the shots. You determine the rule of the game, and not other. It will be better for them also. African nations richer than European nations in actualized wealth. I will prove it that it will happen, as our prophet, seer, visionary of the future told me. Every single of the promises that God gave me before I die will be all fulfilled. And that is the collective peaceful rise of all African nations, not just their leaders. Africa as the continent richer and higher than China, Asia actualized. 30 African nations with $1 trillion US economy. Benchmarking for each nation. Actualized wealth, not potential. Potential, you are already wealthier than everyone. If you didn't know, you would know. But actualized. The release of dormant assets and your wealth potentials, independent and without foreign aid. You don't need even reliance on foreign direct investments. The motto of From Africa, in Africa, by Africa, for Africa, and for export and for contribution to the world community. Building Africa's self-regenerative economy. Your region and your region should partner and have mutual investments and both grow. One of the main movements I created in China wasn't foreign investment coming to China. Regional partnerships, provinces, cities, and villages cooperative with each other. Just signing ceremonies of many contracts and programs, and then all of a sudden, all the youth entrepreneurs are becoming active. All those who didn't believe they have money and wealth, they become active. I want to see that, Ghana. Your leadership role for that. Enter the nation. Zero debt in Africa. Africa that will be the net exporter of debt and not receiver of foreign debt within 1 decade. Make it a decision. In Mozambique, all the university chairmen and professors are writing books on the Future Trends Africa Manifesto on these principles, making the dissertations of PhD and also of the masters to be on all the elements of the collective dignity rise and practical rise of Africa. African nations that will be soon super wealthy, but not proud, not selfish, not self-centered. Mega wealth generation and distribution models will be adopted in the local areas. We have to create a few sample regions that wealth is generated and distributed in an order that will surprise the other regions of Africa itself. Africa that would implement the first model of embedded benevolence, automatic benevolence, regenerative economy. What it means, let all the youth go and research and review and consult. You are the nation, they are the continent with the culture of consultation, more than anyone. Forget about all of these political fightings. Forget about the main party and opposition party system. No more in Africa it will be. It will take time, but no more. It is not a 180-degree superhighway that is coming face to face and no divide. Clash, 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 fight. No more. 45 degrees, 60 degrees, all parties aligned to one direction, the exaltation of the nations of Africa. Only one place we all go, up and not down, and everybody. Whether you are against this president and that president, or this or that or that. I don't want to mention names. This is not your nature. You were tribal nature that had collective consultations. Yes, there were tribes who were fighting in the past. That era is over. But within the tribes, even different opinions, there was collective consultation. That should become in the nation, as you asked correctly. Involve us in the consultation. Involve us in determining the fate of our people together. This day is not far. Finally, because of time, and thank you very much. So I wrote here, no need for the old model of two opposing political parties as a superhighway of direct collision, 180 degrees, two opposite directions, and constant clashes, no more. Why not model of 45 degrees, multiple parties, 60 degrees, converging, making coalition, even consensus among the parties and among the fighting factions, that all are arrayed peacefully in collective consultation, culture, and alignment for one single direction towards the elevation of the nations. Remember this word, the elevation of nation, the elevation of Ghana, the elevation of Africa. Only that will solve not only your problems, but will solve world problems. You are the key. Building consensus among the leaders, from the head, president, chairman of parliament, even the military, all unified. The heart, minister of finance, minister of digitalization, and minister of governor of central bank. Not for personal gain. And putting all the other pillar ministries and their assets. The assets that are in 20 ministries. What made New York? What made New York Mercantile Exchange? What made the rich of America? What made the public listed companies and the NYMEXs and futures markets? Agriculture, we call it perishables. Mining, we call it precious metals. Oil and gas, we call it energy. Currents and futures trading. All your assets are like an iceberg. 3% are being chipped. 97% under the ground. Before they are developed, it can be monetized. There are methods of monetizing the wealth that was sleeping. Even with the regions, you don't need even a national government. If you have what we call an inventory of your wealth on blockchain, digital economy, and that inventory can be verified by, we call it random sampling or logging in. After 3 months, 90 days, any of the wealth, whether it's agriculture, mining, or anything, can be monetized in the global stock markets and exchanges. You receive the money without you develop even the land. These methodologies I'll bring. So this is how the surprise rise of Africa will happen. And now for the final, with you, we create what I called converge, merge, integrate, aggregate, monetize, capitalize, digitalize, multiply, and distribute. Very clear. The rise of Africa will come never by foreign aid, never by foreign direct investments. It will only come from within, from the realization that we all have it, that we are the source. The source doesn't want anything. Maybe yes, rainwaters by the grace of God will come. But you have it all. You just will reveal it all. And we, foreigners here, are humble servants of you. Only a little bit reminder of what was the greatness that was already in you. Thank you very much for your attention. It is not about me. It's all about you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In summary, we don't need FDIs. We must do it in Africa by Africans, for Africans, and from Africa. Can we give him another round of applause? When I was trying to summarize his profile, I left out something I think I must share with you. He's the originating founder of the New Silk Road Policy and China GCC MENA Central Asia Cooperation Corridor. Is it Kamalabadi? Kamalabadi Doc was instrumental in China-Tajikistan border opening. China-Oman trade volume hyper jump from $600 million to $11 billion between 2001 and 2007. Gulf Corporations Council series of sovereign wealth funds investment into Industrial and Commercial Bank of China and Agricultural Bank of China, the first ever in world history. Dr. Kamalabadi has executed iconic financial deals which include US Exim Bank sovereign loan to 56 Chinese cities for environment solutions, the signing for which was presided over in the White House by then Vice President Al Gore and Premier Zhu Rongyi, as well as nearly 100 private and public deals in various sectors world over, totaling $30 billion. In your concluding remark, you said, it's not about you, it's about us. But for us, from Vanuatu, from Ghana, from other neighboring countries, we will say it includes you. We would need your experience to be shared with us. The next to speak on behalf of partners who can give us the enabling environment is a Ghanaian and possibly from Ashanti region because of his name, I'll mention later. He's head of monitoring and evaluation at the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. He holds a PhD in economics from the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa, a Master of Philosophy and a Bachelor of Arts degrees in economics from both the University of Ghana, Legon, with special interest in macroeconomics, public sector, and international economics, with a significant focus on foreign direct investment, spillover effects on FDI, and impact on macroeconomic policies on growth and development. As head of the Monitoring and Evaluation Division, he is responsible for providing leadership, ensuring compliance with GIPC Act and impact assessment. He has successfully restructured the Monitoring and Evaluation Division through the development of a framework and standard operating procedure, resulting in improved compliance and revenue generation. He has over 19 years of experience in business development, project management, and investment promotion. He's Dr. George Obodum Kusi Asafo, AJ Doc. You are welcome. Share something brief with us before we go for our panel session. And let me remind you, we'll be given the opportunity to ask questions. One question I have for Dr. Wazam is, if I don't have money, I'm committed, I want to develop myself, I want to establish a business, I want somebody like you or anybody here with experience to be my mentor. Do I have that opportunity, and will I be welcome into your field of growing wealth? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. I'm here representing my CEO, Mr. Yofi Grant, who due to other engagements is unable to be with us. I came basically to engage to make sure that we highlight some of the things that we as a country have and the opportunities available to all of us. And in doing so, I would like to make few remarks. Now, I agree very much with what our keynote speaker has said. As for the potential, it's unimaginable. Africa has so much potential. The next step is how we bring it to realization. And that is the reason why we are all here. And it's particularly important because in the next 20, 30 years, on average, out of every 4 living beings, 1 will come from Africa. And so it's very important we understand what we are talking about. Again, in the next 10 years, according to the World Bank, there will be over 1 billion people who are very young, and out of that, only about 500 million of them will be able to secure formal employment. So if you are thinking of formal employment, then you know that about half of us will not have formal employment. So what do we need to do? That is why the theme is very critical. Entrepreneurship is the way to go. Creating value for ourselves is the way to go. And so we are very happy to be part of this program and to also highlight some of the few things that the government of Ghana, through GIPC and other state agencies, are trying to do for the youth of this country. I am taking this opportunity to highlight this because from our research, I know a lot of people talk about finance as one of the impediments to the growth of businesses and entrepreneurship in Africa. But we've also realized that lack of information is also very critical. A lot of people do not have the right information. They don't know where to go for what kind of information. And so it leaves some of our people in dire need of what to do. You interview a number of people. I've been a business development officer for a very long time when I was into consultancy. The first thing they will tell you is we need finance. But your engagement with them sometimes will tell you that finance is not the major issue. Probably they need information. Probably they need some level of awareness. Probably they need some capacity building. And so we are here to highlight some of these things so that as we have all met here, we will take some few things out of this. And some of the issues, we will discuss them as we do the panel engagements. Now, the government of Ghana, realizing this, and realizing the serious nature of unemployment in the country, and the fact that, as I have indicated to you, it's very difficult to find formal employment nowadays, decided that we should put some models in place to at least help the youth, the young ones, to also try and start something in their own. What are some of these? One of them is the Youth Start program that the government launched recently. And what does it target? It targets the young guys to train them, build their capacity, and give them some level of funding to be able to start something on their own. Again, through the Ghana Enterprises Agency, the government started what we call apprenticeship to entrepreneurship. There are a lot of people who need to learn something before they venture into entrepreneurship. And so we say that come for training through the Ghana Enterprises Agency, and then subsequent to that, they try to build your capacity to help you generate what you need to do. Again, the government is trying to also reform vocational and technical training institutes in Ghana. A lot of us who attest to the fact that we prefer going to the formal universities than to go to the training institutes. But that is where the skill sets are needed. Yesterday, we had a program, CEO's breakfast meeting, which was sponsored by GIPC. And we have to import people from Pakistan to come and help us with grid laying of grids for our electricity transfer. And you ask yourself, where are the skill sets needed for this? Because we don't have it here. Even when we had this oil and gas industry, a lot of our welders here are not qualified to even enter that field because the skill set needed for that kind of welding in the water is not here. And so we are reforming these training technical institutes to be able to make sure that we build the capacity of the youth to do some of these things. Now let me come to GIPC where I represent, so that 2 minutes I will end. We can engage when we come to the discussion segment. We have taken it upon ourselves to organize an annual program called the Young Entrepreneurship Forum, where we bring all the young entrepreneurs together. Last year we did it at Labadi, and this year we are going to have it very soon. The announcement will go out. And I will urge you all to come. What we do is that we screen your projects, we find a way to help you develop your project into a proper business plan, and then market it all over the world to get investors who are interested in partnering with you to make sure that your project becomes successful. Because you may not have the finance, but we are saying that just bring the idea. We have a team, the World Bank and the European Union are all working with us. We have consultants who will take you through all the various steps to help you transform your idea into a bankable project. And then subsequent to that, we market that project everywhere we go. And the success story has been enormous. And so we encourage you that when you hear about GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, we are not only there for foreign direct investment, we are also building local capacity so that we will be able to do proper matchmaking. You will attest to the fact that oil and gas, mining, they have a lot of local content laws. That tells us that a certain part of their businesses must be ceded to a Ghanaian. But if you don't have the capacity, there's no way that matchmaking will ever happen. And so it's very important we work across this to make sure that some of these things do happen. And like I've indicated at the session when we are engaging and your questions begin to come, we will address some of these things. So I will urge all of you that GIPC is not there for only foreign direct investment. We do regional sensitizations, we do capacity building, we do business development, and we are encouraged that with the support that we are getting from associations, AGI, and the Chamber of Commerce, we will be able to promote a lot of these businesses and get the needed support for you. So I will end here, and later we will talk more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asafo Ejei. About 30 years ago, I remember many people depended on white-collar jobs. So you may be a manager, you have a secretary who will type your script because you yourself, you cannot type. There were no computers at that time, or there were not many computers. And they will bring it back, you will do the corrections, they'll go and work on it again. Today, I believe that opportunity is lost to many who would have trained as secretaries or personal assistants whose job basically is to put together thoughts of their business managers. Just 2-3 days ago, I was watching Al Jazeera, and an anchor like me was interviewing a computer. They say artificial intelligence. I've watched it about 5 times, and it is becoming obvious that artificial intelligence, i.e., that era we are entering, is gradually going to take away many things we do traditionally for survival. And so they will talk about the movie industry where they are taking over. They will talk about several sectors. So it tells you that entrepreneurship or venturing into what we are talking about today is what we must begin to look at as our future. Otherwise, we may be rendered redundant. And that is why I see this event very, very important. I'm told many of us are tired, and so Beatrice will do something very small. But while Beatrice will take over the microphone and invite the person to warm our faces with smiles, I want to invite our panelists to join us at the table here to answer our questions. But before I even ask the first person to walk upstage, I want to find out if our representative from the Democratic Republic of Congo is still here with us, so that we give you the opportunity to speak. Dr. Kamara, Dr. Fazam, is it Kama Labadi? Labadi is close to me, so Kama Labadi, I've separated your name into 2, so I've hyphenated it, Kama Labadi. We want to welcome you upstage to join us with our panel discussion. Ms. Yang Yang is also with Future Trends. She's the Vice President of Future Trends. She's coming up because GIPC answered part of my question about if I don't have money, but I still want to become an entrepreneur, does it stop me because I don't have capital? He answered part of it. Dr. John Fori, if you can join us upstage, Dr. Asafo Ejei. And then Mr. Ben Ali is a renowned businessman in Togo. We also invite you to join us upstage. A round of applause for our panelists. And Beatrice will do something small, and then I'll welcome your conversation.
At this juncture, I would like to call on Israel again. We have been sitting since morning, and as I said, you can get up on your feet and dance as he performs. We are here to learn. We are here to interact. We are here to have fun as well. It's not strictly business, business, business. There's a saying that goes like, all work without play. That's what? Thank you very much for your answers. That tells me that you are ready to get up a bit and stretch your feet as Israel comes on stage. Israel, special request, that is Vanuatu song. Do you agree with me? Because we are going to Vanuatu, whether we like it or not. I would like to say that those of us here who are yet to get married, when we show you the video or some documentary from Vanuatu, you agree with me that it's a safe haven for our honeymoon. And those of you who are already married, you can go there renew your vow, change the environment. You have been at home, sleeping at home every time with your family. Just take some time off. You might say the place is far. It's not. All you have to do is to contact the Commission office, which is located at Tema, Community 25, that is C25, and the Vanuatu Trade Commission will do everything for you. Yours is to fly to Vanuatu, be it business or pleasure. We are ready for you. Just have a valid passport. Come to our office, and we are there to assist you without any struggle, without any hustling. So please, a round of applause. As I said, clapping is an exercise. A round of applause for Israel Maweta. Thank you.
Okay, so when Prof asked me to compose song for Vanuatu, I don't know. So I asked, what is Vanuatu? So I have to go research. And I realized the people there like reggae so much. That is why I composed the song in the reggae way. DJ. So you can get up on your feet and shake yourself a bit. Warm up yourself a bit. I want to pay a visit to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The beautiful land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. I want to escape to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The amazing land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Vanuatu. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. I want to pay a visit to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The beautiful land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. I want to escape to Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. The amazing land of Vanuatu. You will never, never, never regret it. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Come on, Vanuatu. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Of Vanuatu, they are very interesting. My hospitality is wonderful. They are very interesting. We are cherish the picture of Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Very awesome and serene is Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. I love the people of Vanuatu. They are very interesting. My hospitality is wonderful. They are very interesting. We are cherish the nature of Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Very awesome and serious is Vanuatu. It is very interesting. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vanuatu, here we come. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Vanuatu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Vanuatu, here we come. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. I wanna go, you wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. Vanuatu, here we come. Go to Vanuatu.
Thank you very much.
I wanna go, we wanna go. We all go to Vanuatu. Vanuatu, here we go. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I like the move, so it means you people love reggae, papa. Especially His Excellency Prof. Dean Roberts. You were going like this. Okay, now we'll show you a documentary. We've been talking about Vanuatu since morning. So we'll show you some pictures, videos that makes Vanuatu what it is. The opportunities there. And whatever you want to do, as I said earlier, be it tourism, you want to go there to have fun on holiday, and you also want to go there to do business with them. They are black, just like you and I. So no need for you to be scared. Oh, if I go there because of my color, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing like racism in Vanuatu. So if you are ready, media, please, let's go for the documentary. Let us paint a better picture of the island, which we've been talking about since morning. Thank you.
The Republic of Vanuatu lies in the sparkling South Pacific Ocean. While it's only a short flight from Australia and New Zealand, chances are it's a world away from wherever you are right now. Like a handful of shells cast upon 5,000 square miles of pristine waters, this Melanesian archipelago remains relatively untouched by the waves of mass tourism. This is a nation where traditional customs remain strong, a place where the people live in harmony with the moods of the waters and the land. In Vanuatu, the opportunity for adventure and the chance to relax await at every turn. This is a place that will challenge the way you think about happiness and what it means to truly live in the moment. Most visitors to Vanuatu arrive at the nation's capital, Port Vila, situated on the main island of Efate. Vila, as it's affectionately known, sits at the edge of a magnificent natural harbour filled with corals and sea life. Visiting yachts and inter-island traders bump and sway at anchor, evoking the romance of times gone by. While around the harbour, beaches, islands and resorts welcome weary 21st century travellers looking for a chance to reconnect with loved ones and themselves. Like many South Pacific ports, Vila is wonderfully laid back and relaxed. So leave your designer gear at home, pull on some flip-flops and slide into island time. Wander the markets filled with handicrafts and produce from across the archipelago. For those fussy shoppers used to checking labels, relax. Everything here is organic. Explore the beaches of Mele Bay and send a postcard home to loved ones from the underwater mailbox at Hideaway Island. At sunset, enjoy the cool sea breezes and warm hospitality of your resort, or hang out with sailors, expats and locals at the bars and restaurants along the waterfront. If you can drag yourself away from your deck chair, Vila is the perfect jumping off point for adventures all over the island. From sunset cruises, to kayak adventures, forest walks to ziplining. Just a 10-minute drive from Port Vila and then a 5-minute walk into the heart of Iroquois rainforest is Ikasap Cultural Village. Here, proud villagers are waiting to share their centuries-old customs, crafts, music and stories with you. For a day trip that many rate as the highlight of their Vanuatu adventure, take a 35-minute drive north from Port Vila, then climb aboard a boat to nearby Lelepa Island. Cool off in a pristine aquatic wonderland, or simply glide over coral gardens in a traditional outrigger. Enjoy a beachside barbecue, then take a cultural tour across the island, learning about traditional bush medicine and soaking up the local smiles along the way. Before you leave, however, quietly enter Sacred Fells Cave, once part of the domain of Roy Mata, the great 13th century chieftain who united Vanuatu's many tribes. Tiny Lelepa Island is just one of Vanuatu's 80 islands. The largest is Espiritu Santo, just a 50-minute flight north from Vila. At the island's sleepy capital, Luganville, stock up on supplies at the markets before venturing off to explore the natural wonders of Santo. Vanuatu is dotted with incredible blue holes, a geological phenomenon that results in pure waters of jewel-like quality. Take a dip in one of the best at Mativulu, just a 30-minute drive from Luganville. Follow the coast north through the coconut plantations and farms of Santo to some of Vanuatu's finest beaches. Stay a few nights in a bungalow at Lonik or neighbouring Champagne Beach and wake each morning to some of the whitest, footprint-free sands in the world. A little further north, hang out with local families and enjoy the idyllic waters of Port Ulri. After exploring mainland Santo, explore the islands off its southern coast. While away your days enjoying the pristine marine environment of Auri Island. On tiny Bokisa Island, let one of the locals massage out those 21st century knots. While on neighbouring Ratua Island, why not stay right on the water and let the outgoing tide carry your stresses far out to sea. 2 miles off the coast of Santo was Malo, an island of exceptional natural beauty. Join a kayak tour and gently paddle up the pristine waters of the Malo River. Just as the river narrows and the forest closes in around you, it opens up again, revealing yet another of Vanuatu's remarkable blue holes. After the islands of AfCFTA and Santo have worked their soothing magic on you, get even further away from it all on Tana Island. Just a 45-minute flight south from Port Vila, Tana is fringed with beaches ranging from pure white to black volcanic sands. The island offers a range of accommodations too, from simple beachside bungalows to stunning eco-resorts with all the mod cons. But away from the coast, time has stood still. Many of the hillside villages on Tana remain largely unaffected by the trappings of the modern world, and that's the way the locals prefer it. At Lawinio village, the residents proudly share their way of life, which they call custom. This isn't just a show for tourists. Here, the welcome and the smiles are among the warmest you'll ever receive. Tana means earth, and after kicking up the dust together, you'll feel completely grounded too. You'll certainly feel the earth shake on Mount Yasser, one of the world's most active and accessible volcanoes. In 1774, Captain James Cook changed course to Tana after seeing the volcano's far-off glow. Cook attempted to climb the volcano, only to be turned back by locals who considered the mountain sacred. Today, Mount Yasa's custodians invite visitors to stand on the caldera's fiery rim to witness one of the greatest spectacles on the planet. As lava shoots into the evening sky, some tremble, most are awestruck, but all are humbled. In fact, you'll feel humbled wherever you go in Vanuatu, by the incredible natural beauty, by the richness of the culture, but mostly by its people. In these islands, the true measure of wealth is how much a person can give away. After experiencing the warmth and generosity of Vanuatu's people, it's easy to feel that Vanuatu could be one of the richest places on Earth.